Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let's see if we can get this back on track for the last 30 minutes. Okay, the pension bill. I just want to start with another gentle reminder that Albertans don't want this. Just in case there was some lack of clarity around what democracy actually is and what our job is to represent the needs of Albertans. That is what they elected us to do, regardless of which party they voted for. That is our job. Just preparing for this moment in the legislature, I quickly went into my email inbox and had another look just to see if I could find an email, one email that was pro-Alberta Pension Plan. And you know what? I did. I found one. But I found many more that were very much against an Alberta Pension Plan. Many more. And there are things in those emails, there are words that are very difficult to read. I'm reading things from my constituents who are saying that they are utterly horrified at the idea of an Alberta pension plan. That an Alberta pension plan is ludicrous, flawed, and outrageous. That this idea is spiteful. It is a government picking yet another fight with Ottawa for no reason. It's all about the war on Ottawa. It's not about serving Albertans, that this Alberta pension plan takes unnecessary risks, that it creates instability, and that it reduces trust in government. And I read those words and I take that very seriously because I want my constituents to trust me. And in fact, I really would like for them to trust everybody in this House. But it's very clear that they don't. So let's just review a little bit of some UCP history around pensions. In 2019, the Alberta NDP introduced Bill 203, which would have required consultation for altering pension management directives and rules, and that was voted down by the UCP. In 2020, we introduced Bill 208, which would have required a further referendum on whether the AIMCO should be the investment manager of an Alberta pension plan, and that was voted down by the UCP. And let's just for a moment go back in time and remember that whole AIMCO fiasco. Let's just take a minute to remember how the UCP government wanted to take Alberta's teachers' pensions that were managed by the Alberta Teachers Retirement Fund, which generated excellent returns of nearly $20 billion worth of investments for 84,000 current and retired teachers. But in spite of that excellent track record, the UCP forced Alberta teachers to move their funds to AIMCO. Adding insult to injury, the UCP finance minister at the time promised that teachers would retain control over that investment strategy, and then under a ministerial order was like, no, just jokes. Actually, you can't. And what happened there, he imposed a ministerial order of his own investment management strategy on those pension funds. And what happened after that? The Alberta Teachers Association sued the provincial government to get better control over their pension. And they won, and so they did. And they were able to have control over their teachers' retirement fund and over their pension. And what all of that does is it creates uncertainty, it continues to build a lack of trust in government to actually listen to the needs of Albertans and to address the things that they care about. And it actually ended up going to the courts, which takes up legal time and legal capacity. We keep hearing from the Minister of Finance that this cake isn't baked. I've heard that a half a dozen times, at least in question period, when we've asked about the pension, that the cake isn't baked, so don't worry about it. It's not a done deal. If it's not a done deal, yeah, it's a half-baked idea for sure. And if it's not a done deal, why are we debating a piece of legislation that will support it if it's not a done deal? Not to mention that the consultation around the Alberta Pension Plan is a sham. If you are asking people what they think about an Alberta Pension Plan, maybe one of the questions in the online survey should be, do you support moving to an Alberta Pension Plan? but it isn't a question in the online survey. Albertans haven't been asked by this government how they feel about the concept of moving from a Canada pension plan to an Alberta pension plan. They haven't been asked that outright as a question. And the reason for that, I think, is that the members opposite know what the answer is. The answer is keep your hands off my CPP. This whole situation, I like talking to the camera though. This whole situation is invented by the members opposite to pick a fight with Ottawa, and it just continues to build a lack of trust in Albertans. At the end of the day, it ain't broke, don't fix it. Thank you.
Are there others?